Welcome into Chilling with the Chiefs. Today, we're going to be talking about the ass beating the Chiefs laid upon the Raiders. We're going to be talking about maybe Matt Nagy heading to Tennessee. Don't know. How does a NFL game only last 2 minutes and 41 seconds these days? How does a team get more first downs than the other team gets plays ran on a game? All that today on Chilling with the Chiefs.
Chilling with the Chiefs, yeah, they bring the heat. Breaking it down, no retreat. Big Lou, Frizz, dog running in the streets. Podcast kings can't be beat. Chilling with the Chiefs, yeah, they bring the heat. Breaking it down, no retreat. Big Lou, Frizz, dog running in the streets. Podcast kings can't be beat. Late night grinding, truth bombs dropping. No fake smiles, no corporate stopping. Voices of the fans, the die-hard crew for the kingdom. They bleed through and through. Chilling with the Chiefs, yeah, they bring the heat. Breaking it down, no retreat. Big Lou, Frizz, dog running in the streets. Podcast kings can't be beat.
Welcome in. I appreciate every week. If you listen to this, please hit that like button. We're not getting enough likes every week. It's usually only a few likes. I know you do like it. So please get in there, hit the like button, smash it, get your pip hand, you know, smash that like button for us, please. All right. And always with me today, the one, the only Frizz Dog.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome into the show. Like Big Lou said, like. Uh, yeah. What's up,
Yeah,
Big Lou?
we're being like what is it, like disciplinaries, like, mama telling you to like, that's we're all on it. So yeah, please like the channel. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going as always, especially on great days like this, when you just layeth the smacketh down on them candy ass Raiders. You know you loved it, Frizz Dog. It became a snooze fest, but good thing it didn't take too long. It was only a 2 hour and 41-minute game, which is unreal if you ask me. But before we get into that, there was always something we like to talk about before the game or before we get into the main episode, and that's what's going on around the league. And we like to pull out the funny stories, but there wasn't really anything too funny besides what we thought was, the funniest thing to kick off the NFL week 7, and that was the Steelers versus the Bengals and the battle of the old timers, the geriatric bowl, the icy hot bowl, the testosterone bowl. Oh, I thought Doug Flutie and Joe Montana was going to come back out with their walkers or their tee shots and ready to go, man. What was up with this game, Frizz Dog? We had two old men, 41 and 40, going out there slinging it all over the field.
Old Man River. Yeah. It was like, it was a decade and a half ago. It was Aaron Rodgers. It was Joe Flacco looking like prime Joe Flacco. Aaron Rodgers, say what you want about him. He's still got a hell of an arm. And he will throw absolute bombs. So it was a better game than I think a lot of people thought it was going to be
Oh, it was
because,
entertaining for sure. Absolutely.
well, I mean, you had the, 4-1 Steelers going in, or maybe 5-1.
Oh, they were coming off their bye. So yeah, they were 4-1 against the 1-5 Bengals, the
Right.
laughing stock of the league right now.
So,
Straight up joke.
they got that bump. They got that bump from Joe in week 2 in his second start. Also, he targeted Jamar Chase. I think it was 23 times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
And Jamar Chase, he's a push off artist. So
Quite good at it too. Quite fucking good at it.
well, yeah, because he hardly ever gets called for it, so he must be excellent at it. Um, I mean, I see it every damn time, but
My
that's just
question, he started off though. Flacco started off, and this game was 10-0. And then all of a sudden, Flacco decides to say, and this game really changed. The turning point of this game was when when Pittsburgh was going in for their second touchdown. They were just marching right down the field. And all of a sudden, they get this huge run by, I think, Warren. And he takes off and he gets into the end zone, scores a touchdown, gets called back for holding, and they have to kick a field goal to make it 10-0. That's when it changed right there. All of a sudden, Flacco wakes up and says, "Hey, I've got Jamar Chase now. I've got T. Higgins. Let me just throw it out on an out pattern all the time, right to this spot over by the sideline. Trust me, either Chase is going to get to it or it's going to be incomplete." And 9 times out of 10, Chase got to it.
yeah. It was a great game plan for Cincinnati coming in, especially offensively. I still don't believe in them or anything. Like I don't think they're
No,
like turning their season around.
fool's gold
Um,
with this Joe Flacco. 31 completions on 47 attempts, 342 for 3 touchdowns. He only had 1 touchdown and 8 interceptions over there in Cleveland. So my question is, what's going on with these teams that can't seem to uh know what they have at quarterback? I mean, the Jets, the Giants, the Cleveland, it's like
the Cleveland,
the
uh,
Cleveland, that's pretty much what they are,
w-
these teams, these guys leave, go somewhere else, and they're having great seasons. Look at Mac Jones. Look at freaking Daniel Jones. The Joneses, Mac and Daniel Jones.
yeah, but I mean, each case is different, obviously. For Daniel Jones, I think it did him a lot of good just to get out of New York. Um,
But he wasn't
New,
even brought into Indianapolis to be the starter. They had a quarterback competition to
hmm
start things. He just won the job.
yeah. Mac Jones, that to me is even less surprising because of where he's at and who he has surrounding him. I mean, when you got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, makes your job a lot easier.
That true, exactly. And Chase Brown also for Cincinnati had a hell of a game too. 11 rushes for 108 yards, and he was getting plays when they needed it too. So I mean, all around, you could say this was a good game, back and forth all the way to the end there. But here's a question for his dog that we got to ask ourselves now, right? Not so much the fool's gold and Joe Flacco. What's going on with Pittsburgh's defense? Now they're down to 28th overall on their defense.
I mean, then what's going on with their defense is it's probably not very good.
I know that it's just, and with the guys they have on that squad, Joey Porter Jr., TJ Watt, it's like, why are you guys that bad? And why did you let Flacco just go all over the field? Well, I'd say Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they're the true stars of this show.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I mean, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they hadn't done anything. They hadn't done a whole bunch coming into the game. So,
Well, they were doing, I mean, I believe you. I'd have to go back and look what their first games, their stats were with Burrow, but they were definitely shit when Browning came in. So, and like I said, this could they could go right back down the tubes after this, because like I said, to me, this fool's gold. Don't think that Mr. Geriatric here is all of a sudden going to be, taking Cincinnati to the Super Bowl. All right. Well, we'll move on from there. Hey, for his dog, been rumors going around. A little bit of rumors. Mr. Matt Nagy over here may be in the hunt or has his eye on a new head coaching job down there in Tennessee with his old buddy Mike Borgonzi.
Yeah, there have been rumors out there. Tennessee did fire their head coach last week. Um, Mike McCoy clearly is probably not the long term answer down there. I'm sure they'll give him an interview for it, especially if they win some games. Um,
Yeah, that'll happening.
well, that could be true, but um,
And an ass beating put on him by
I
Carol.
I think they'll at least But yeah, Matt Nagy is very familiar with Mike Borgonzi. He, comes from Kansas City. So the real question is, if you're Matt Nagy, I think, is that the right job? Do you want to take that job? Because
Well, here's the thing I would say. Borgonzi really he comes from what we would all say the Andy Reid tree. But remember, Borgonzi was more with Veach. And he more understood how Veach, so he's more of a Veach, apprentice, where he's learning how to put together a scout team, understanding the type of scouts you need for what you're looking for, right? And now he's going to bring in, if he can, Matt Nagy. And basically, you're going to have Brett Veach and Andy Reid type of clone over there in Tennessee. And honestly, Dog, I think like this: if ownership could just stay the fuck out the way and give these guys maybe 3 years, 4 years, they that team could be dominating that division, you know. But then again, so did Mike Vrabel, and he took that team to the AFC Championship, and they still fired his ass, and the motherfucker goes over to New England, and he's in first place. I mean, it's like that's why I say the ownership's got to stay out of the way. But I think it's a good hire. You got Bergonzi, who tootled under Veach, and we all know how good Veach is, at scoutment, signing, salary cap manipulation. Oh, that's a bad word, but you know what I mean. And then the head coach with Matt Nagy, they'll go together. He'll know what he wants. He'll know what they'll scout for. And I think because people don't give Nagy too much credit over there in Chicago. And from what I heard that, Mitchell Trubisky had a winning record with Nagy. And then when Nagy left him, he only won like 3 games after that. So, I mean, it's all like he doesn't get a lot of credit for what he did over there in Chicago. And I think he could actually go to Tennessee. And like I said, if ownership just stays out of the way, yeah, this could be a very good team.
yeah, the reason I think he doesn't get a lot of credit for what he did in Chicago is because it turned into such a shit show at the end.
Ownership,
Um,
and you know it to be true. The ownership is what's fucking that shit up all the time.
maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to him when he was in Chicago, so I don't know exactly. I know he took the Bears to the playoffs. I think twice with Mitchell Trubisky as his starting quarterback, if I'm not
What I'm
mistaken.
saying, he was like 13-9 with Mitchell Trubisky, and Trubisky after that was like 3-12.
Yeah, but that's I think Matt Nagy. I think he'll get another head coaching opportunity. I don't know if it'll be this cycle, um, and I don't know if it'll be in Tennessee. But I think he's got kind of an inside track, if I were to be honest.
I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if
No,
he goes to Tennessee. Anywhere else, I kind of would be surprised, but Tennessee just has that connection, Mike Borgonzi probably will be a really good scout or put together. I know he's the general manager. He's not really, but it's like he's going to put together a good team. He's going to understand. He understands how to do it, and then you're going to bring in a coach where he understands how to cater to his coach's needs and how he runs the playbook because he understands that's truly what the general manager's job is. It's not really to be the boss of the head coach. It's to understand what your coach's philosophy is and get the players that fit that scheme. You know, that's exactly what we do here in Kansas City.
Yeah, but what you're saying is true here in Kansas City, that it's not the GM's job to be the boss's the coach's boss. That's not true in most places, I don't believe.
It should
Uh
be true in all places, but I understand where you're coming from.
yeah, I how you feel is how you feel, but how reality is what it is. Like GMs, generally speaking, are the coach's boss.
Yes, they hire the coach, and that's even more ridiculous because, as I've said before many of times, that's how Clark Hunt started out. He's all like, yes, I understand that flaw. I'll hire a GM. That GM will hire a head coach and they will work together to make the team successful, right? Well, when you hire a mini Carl, and that's what's, let's get it right. That's what Pioli was. He was a young Carl, right? And he wanted all this bullshit perfection shit that, didn't really have anything to do with football, so he was more all wrapped up in himself about how things should be done instead of implement. Anyways, I believe Clark understood that philosophy's old. It don't work anymore. So that throw that shit out the window. What we need to have is a owner who hires a head coach and they work together to have a GM who's going to handle all the contracts, all the signings, all the, business side, right? And he caters to how the head coach wants to work because now basically when Andy goes, that I mean Veach could be the same way unless somebody within is promoted, or hired because Veach is not going to hire a head coach when Andy leaves. It will be Clark Hunt.
I mean, I'm not Nostradamus. I can't see the future, so I'm not going to say that.
Well, that's the way Clark has his system set up. So
That's how Clark did it one time. That's not a system. Doing
technically,
it once is not a system.
technically he did it twice actually, but he just didn't have to get a new head coach. He understood that the GM didn't work. That was the problem. So I'll hire a new GM. Andy didn't hire Brett Veach. Clark Hunt did.
Brett Veach is the GM, not the head coach.
True, but that's what I'm saying though.
The owner always hires the GM.
Well, I get you, but in this situation, I promise you, it won't be Brett Veach who gets a head coach. It will be Clark Hunt.
Okay, again, I'm not Nostradamus, nor are you, so I can't predict the future.
How do you know I'm
But
not Nostradamus?
I
That's
know you're not Nostradamus.
Oh, see, maybe I can predict the future, besides I couldn't predict the Giants beating the Denver Broncos. But all right, moving on. We might see Nagy over there in Tennessee. We might not. Who knows? But all right, Frizz Dog. It's all out there. We still got to talk about it. It's everybody wants to know. I know you want to know. Our fans, our listeners want to know. But what the fuck is going on with Josh Simmons?
I don't know.
I know. Nobody knows. And that's the problem. To me, that's a problem. All right. I
Well,
was giving him a pass the
the
first week.
public doesn't know.
Well, that's the thing. Because,
People within the organization know.
okay, that's even worse then. Okay. So, you're keeping information from the public. So now we're wondering, well, why isn't he put on the what's that called? The
Injured list.
not the injured list. They have another one that he can go on for like 4 weeks. It's like uh player not injured list or something like that. It's a list that they can put him on so they can bring people off so he can not be on a roster spot. That's the
A
whole thing.
commissioner exempt list.
Yeah, they call it like player uninjured list. Like he's taking time off because of not due to injury, so they can take him off for like 4 weeks and they can bring a player up, from the practice squad. And this is where I'm getting kind of pissed off, because it's like, all right, I wouldn't say pissed off. That's not the right word. This is where I'm getting kind of disappointed because it's like, okay, he's got, as the Chiefs only stated, family. That's all it's related, right? Family. It didn't say issues, just family related. Yeah, leave family related. Okay. I'm not getting into that. Not going to say they're lying or anything. I'm not getting into that at all. That's not my angle. All right. Then what do you know that you're not putting him on this 4 week, exemption list so you could bring a player up to move it in? Because right now, we don't really have a backup tackle besides Wanye Morris right now. And if any one of our tackles go down, especially the left tackle, we have Wanye coming in there. And guess what? We're back to last year. And we don't have any way to, I mean, it's like we don't have, he's still taking up a roster spot. So it's like, have we heard anything? Do we know if he's going
Well,
to play next week?
okay, so first of all, the Chiefs, Josh Simmons, nobody owes any of us anything in terms of telling us. The Chiefs know, right? So would you agree with that? The Chiefs know what's going on to at least to a greater degree than we do.
They know exactly what's going on to the very last detail, actually.
Okay, so it is not the Chiefs' responsibility to relay that information to us necessarily.
Okay, let's build off that then. It's not their responsibility to relate that. You are absolutely correct. But you would agree that doing nothing or certain actions that you've been doing leading up to this actually does say something.
Well, it says they think he might be back within 4 weeks, is all it says to me.
So why
Um,
didn't they put him on the exempt list so they could move a player up?
because then he has to be gone for 4 weeks. And if they think he might come back before that, why would you want to put him on the exempt list?
Okay, so now we're going on 3 weeks, right? With no
Mm,
word from him.
really 2 weeks, but
It's the third game, right?
third game, but really it's 2 weeks.
He would have been 4 games out. So what would have been the point of putting him on, not putting him on there? If you
Well,
he's going to be
number
right
one,
back.
it wouldn't have been all three. It wouldn't have been all 3 games. It would have just been it wouldn't have been the first game that he missed because, uh, or actually, I guess he's only missed 2 games at this point.
It's going on
Uh,
3.
it, I didn't say it isn't going on 3. I said he's missed 2 games at this point. The first game he missed, even if they put him on the list, would not have counted because it was that Saturday night and no NFL moves would have been acknowledged until Monday, the game after the game. It might even be Tuesday, the transaction report.
I mean, okay, but if you put him on the list right after that, because you obviously know what's going on, or he's not telling you everything that's going on. Because now it's at the point where it's like he's going on 3 games. If you would have put him on the list right after that, knowing that he was going to be gone for 2 or 3 games, you can say, well, don't worry. We got the bye week in 4 games. Go ahead and take, almost 6 weeks off to do whatever you want to do. We'll put you on the exempt list. We'll move on. But they didn't do that. So either they're saying that he was probably going to be back next week or maybe the week after that. Like I said, now we're going on 3 weeks. We haven't heard anything if he's back or not, or if he's going to play this week, or if he's even back at practice. These are things. Now, my question, this is where a little speculation comes in. Do we have a Zach Greinke on our hands?
I'm not gonna speculate. You don't know what's going on. I don't like to speculate about somebody's personal life because I have no fucking clue what's going on in his life.
Right. So, again, we don't care about his life, but we care about our Chiefs, right? And we don't have, a player coming up for his job and we don't know why. And we're just supposed to be like, well, whatever, we're good. Keep it
There's
moving.
nothing there, unless they want to release information to us. There's not really a whole bunch else we can do.
So we're not talking we won't talk, basically about any ill will on Josh Simmons' part, which I'm not going to do, of course. I'm going to talk more ill will on the Chiefs right now because I'm getting a Eric Berry type of fucking vibe off this shit where it's like it's a day-to-day type of thing. Day-to-day, it's like, okay, listen, what's going on? Did he piss you guys off? Is something going on? Did he just decide that, listen, I'm stressed out, I'm depressed, whatever? Like I said, no speculation, but it's all like, why are you guys all of a sudden now keeping hush up, lip, and then all Andy keeps saying is, I'm letting Brett Veach handle that. Why is Brett Veach handling this? That would be meaning that this has to do with like contracting or something to do business wise with his contract, not personal.
Or it could be that Andy wants to concentrate on the players that are there so that he's giving his maximum effort to the game plan and whatnot going into game weeks.
So then, okay, then say, listen, that's a personal matter. We're not going to say anything about that. We're going to continue thinking about the game next week and the players that are here. We wish everything the luck on Simmons. And then everything, and then on the start of every press conference, the same response, right? Hey, same deal with Josh Simmons. Nothing more to add. Hey, same deal with Josh Simmons. Nothing more to add. Time is yours. Instead, he made a point to say, I'm letting Brett Veach handle that. And you can't tell me that's meant like Andy Reid does this all the time. These are press conference. That's information he meant to put out there. So, and I'm all like, why? Why is that
Well,
information meant to be put out there? And why is Brett Veach handling it?
here's the information why he put that information out there so you don't ask him about Josh Simmons.
I just gave the explanation of how to go around that, and he's professional.
He did just fine doing it the way he did it. Here's the thing: Brett Veach doesn't do press conferences. He does one every like what, the beginning of the year, the end of the year.
Right. So why would you say Brett Veach is handling that, putting pressure on the organization to get Brett Veach to do an interview?
Doesn't put
Why?
pressure on New York.
It
You
does. Every
no,
every reporter
of
out
course
there,
it doesn't. Of course it doesn't.
every reporter out there right now is contacting the Chiefs PR right now to get a cut press view with
And
Brett,
they're all getting told no.
and they keep calling. You know how these guys are. They just keep calling and keep calling until you say yes.
And they'll keep getting told no
So
until he's
that's not
ready
pressure
to
then.
say yes.
That's not pressure then.
No. What
I
how's it pressure for him?
Well, I mean, that's semantics then because a lot of people would think that's pressure. You're constantly calling, not just you, but like every news outlet out there calling
I
the PR.
mean,
That sounds
I
like pressure to me.
I think you underestimate the fact that they're probably constantly calling anyway.
Well, yeah, but constantly calling for Andy Reid told them Veach is handling this. Now they're constantly calling for one thing to talk to Veach.
And they're not
Constantly.
getting through to him.
And
So
they're constantly doing it.
again, what difference would it make to him? He's not having to field the calls.
I'm saying though, why did you do that when you could have easily just said it's a personal matter? We're going to leave it at that. And then in every press conference, just say no change on Josh Simmons. I have nothing to add on that. Why did you have to say Brett Veach is handling that and put that on
Because
Veach?
just like you said, they're gonna call Veach and call Veach and call Veach. If he said what you said, they're gonna still ask him fucking questions about Josh Simmons.
And like I said, he's a professional. He knows how to do it just like he did with Eric Berry. That's day to day. That's day to day. He didn't say, I'm letting Brett Veach handle that. Or I'm sorry, Dorse handle that.
That's because Eric Berry was still in the building.
So
You're
I'm just saying,
comparing two
like,
different fucking situations.
I'm still saying that, there's no point on calling Brett Veach out for a personal matter with Josh Simmons. He's got a personal matter. That's the end of it. When you say, I'm letting Brett Veach handle
Again,
that, now we think, you're leading more out there for people to say, well, why is Veach handling it?
he's And then what's he going to say?
Well, right now he keeps avoiding that question. He keeps avoiding the follow up to that on every press conference.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. I get that, you know. And it's like, but the thing is like, I don't understand why you had to, why you keep Feature's name out your mouth, you know. So it's like that's the only thing I got from it. So, like, I didn't see that as necessary.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Andy did that without Brett Veach knowing he was going to do it?
And if he did do it with Brett Veach knowing a bit, that means that, you know, we ask more questions, right? So, okay, what's really going on with this situation?
Again, we don't know. But
No. And they
my
keep
question that
leading
you didn't answer
breadcrumbs.
my question. Do you think Andy Reid would say that without Brett Veach knowing he's going to say that?
And as I said, the start of this conversation, that I think all this is calculated and known by everybody in the building. When he said Brett Veach's name, it was said for a reason. Brett Veach knew about it. You know, it's all done for a reason. I don't think
What
any of
reason?
this is, it's what I'm trying to figure out, you know? So, like, I don't think any of it's said accidentally. I don't think anything Andy Reid says is said by mistake. You know, I think everything he says is said in reason. And like when he said, I'm letting Brett Veach handle that, I then asked my question. So, like, why is Brett Veach handling a situation with a player that just had to go home for some type of family issues?
I don't know. Maybe that is the GM's purview. I don't know.
And then why did Andy Reid specifically say that? And you say, well, so he doesn't get asked questions about it anymore. It's like, well, he's avoided that. Now I know it's a different scenario, but he has avoided, you know, using Brett V or his general manager as a, like you said, as an out from him being having to ask these questions before, you know. So it's like, I don't get why this time.
Again, but you're comparing a different scenario to a different scenario. That player was still in the building.
I get that. I'm just saying that he didn't have to use an outlet so people would stop asking him the same questions every day. That's all I'm saying, you know.
He didn't have to. I mean, he didn't have to do a lot of. You don't have to do a lot of things in life, but if it makes your life easier, you might.
You know, we can move on, but I'm just saying it just feels like, you know, I don't know. It just seems like the Chiefs are not happy with Josh Simmons. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, they might not be. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know either. I'm just saying that's what by the breadcrumbs left out on all these the pieces of the puzzle I'm putting together. Could be
Yeah,
different.
but you're missing 3/4 of the puzzle,
It's all
if
right.
not more.
It could be a cat. It could be a dog. I don't know. We're getting there though. We're getting there though. Bashard Smith had a pretty damn good game for his dog, didn't he?
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to look at his rushing attempts and rushing yards. Don't look at that. That was all in garbage time. All his rushing attempts actually were in garbage time. But what you will see is that he had 5 receptions on 5 targets and 42 yards. He was actually tied for second in the team with on yardage with Rashi Rice. And he week over week over week, he looks like he's getting integrated into the offense more and more. And I'm excited about that because I think he brings back the almost like the Jerick McKinnon aspect of our offense, where
I can
you
see that.
know he
Absolutely.
he can get you out of the backfield and don't give him too much room now he'll take off.
And it's
And
and it seems like it's all wheel routes and screens with him right now. And let me tell you, he makes the most out of them because they're always positive yards.
yeah, and I think as the season progresses, his involvement in the offense is going to grow more and more, just in terms of you know them having him on the field for 5 targets a game or 6 or 7 targets a game. I just think he's going to continue getting those Jerick McKinnon like you
Yeah.
know
That'd be a good, it'd be a good complimentary, like you said, because like we got two good running backs. Well, we almost lost one this game, so like, but thank God everything, turned out all right. Old man Kareem Hunt still looking good, still looking good. Injuries in this game wasn't too good though for his dog. If you started off with Kareem Hunt and you're like, oh, thank God, and then next thing you know, Trey Smith goes out, back locked up on him, buddy. That's not good for a $23 million a year left guard or right guard that you just paid.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably been dealing with stuff all year, to be honest with you. I think he's been banged up a little bit. Um, so thankfully, Mike Caliendo came in. He did an admirable job, which I expect him to because he did a okay job at left guard last year. Um, I look for Trey Smith to, get treat. I don't look for that to be a long term thing. I hope.
I
Um,
think Caliendo's natural is right guard, anyways, and he was kind of out of position playing left guard, And I want to know a lot of people say, "Well, guard's a guard." It's like no, it's like left and right hand. You lead off different ways, and then you have to practice that constantly. And trust me, there's always a dominant side, and I think Caliendo is much better on the dominant side. Question is though, is is Trey going to be able to go next week? I and these Commanders to me, it's all setting up on if Daniels is going to play too. He went for an MRI to see about that hammy. I don't think he might not play. And that defense is going to shit in the handbasket too over there. So it may be a good time to let Smith go ahead and sit that back for a game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all depends on how he feels. If he feels like he's good enough to go, then he's a football player. Let him play football.
Right.
Um, that's just my opinion because on one hand, I say that. On the other hand, after Washington, we do have the Bills, and that's going to be a big game. So
The
you
Colts
want to
after
make
that, that's another big game.
do what's that?
And the Colts after that, that's another big game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, week by week and whatnot.
No, I know.
So
Game by game. Yeah. Well, and then Omar Norman Lott out for the season. That's rough too because that rookie was looking so good. And now I hear word on the street is Chiefs are looking to make a trade for the deadline for some defensive tackle help.
defense. I've heard defensive tackle and defensive end actually.
Yeah, D
Um,
line basically you could just say because
yeah.
that's hybrid shit that I like to go with. So
How would you how would you feel if they traded a 6th round pick for Colin Saunders?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
absolutely.
I feel too. Like, yeah,
Like
dude. I
sixth
mean,
round pick? Really? Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, Colin. Get your ass back into a system you already know. Step right in.
yep. And eat up snaps at the defensive tackle position.
Yeah, and put Derek Nottie where he belongs, playing only like 5 to 6 snaps a game
And
on
then,
obvious passing situations.
yeah, I think defensive end's probably a harder ask in terms of getting somebody of quality. But
I hope they target Colin Saunders, but remember, we see Chiefs red all the time. Maybe there is a better guy out there that they could bring in. I'm always going to trust in Beach, but yeah, the word on the street around a lot, just to let you know, I've heard it from many news outlets that they're out there looking for a D tackle. No more Norman Lott losing for the season was huge, huge for us, but kind of makes you feel like you shouldn't have cut Mike Fidel.
yeah, I mean, we said that was a bad move when they did it. So
It's still looking like a bad mood. Bad move all around.
looking even worse now.
So for his dog, just to wrap up this kind of game recap, even though there's not much to wrap up, it's like Chiefs just trade dominate, I mean, it's just touchdown after touchdown. In fact, Andy had to let the reins go, because it's or he had to pull back, sorry, he had to pull back on the reins because he was embarrassing, Pete Carroll over there. So he decides, I mean, when do you see that for his dog? When do you see an NFL game where they pull all the starters out for the fourth quarter?
I mean, we just saw it.
Okay.
And I think we might see it more this year, to be honest with you, because I think with our combination of defense and our offense being the offense it's supposed to be again, um, I understand we were just playing the Raiders, but we shut them out, and they had 3 first downs. One of them they got by penalty. Um, that's for an NFL team to do that to another that is grown men telling other grown men, "Nah, you ain't getting 10 yards, homie."
Yeah. 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 In fact, just to put a little salt on the wound, and, they only had 95 total yards. The Raiders had 95 total yards for the game, and the Chiefs had that on their first drive. They had 92 actually. They got 100 because they had a penalty that they had to get called back, so they were able to, get 100 yards actually on that drive. But that's okay. They got 100 yards and one touchdown on that drive, which is more yards and more points than the Raiders scored all game. That's just embarrassing.
You want another crazy stat?
Only needed
They
one drive to beat you. You could have
th-
played offense the rest of the game.
they had 10 drives. The Raiders had 10 drives. They had 30 offensive plays. Um, that averages out to 3 and out,
That averages to 9.2 yards a drive.
which
Let
I
that
don't know if
sink in
everybody's familiar with football that's watching this, but you got to get 10.
to get a first down. Let that sink in. 9.2 yards a drive. That's embarrassing for an NFL team that's spread. This game lasted 2 hours and 41 minutes. Frizz Dog. Hell, I don't even think you could cook your ribs fast enough.
Yeah, it was a very quick game. And I guess when you're dominating like we were, like the ball didn't hardly hit the ground. It was a fairly clean game in terms of penalties on both sides, the Chiefs and the Raiders. So, you know, yeah, it was a quick game, and we just dominated.
Yeah, straight up domination. No point on really driving on. This team's really bad. They hope to get, they should have lost last week to Tennessee because they just got themselves out of first to get the Archie Manning, bowl, Imagine Archie Manning going to that team. That'd have been great. That'd have been real great. All right. Well, Frizz Dog, I guess we can just go ahead and move on to predictions. We did real good this week, didn't we, Frizz Dog?
Yeah, we went 3-1. Should have been 4-0, but the Giants shit the bed.
I know
Um,
in our first week we've been 4-0. Fucking Giants, man, giving up 18 points in the 6 minutes left to go, 30 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, how does the team do that?
I mean, be the Giants, I guess.
But I guess the Chargers haven't figured out how to do that, huh? Yeah.
Mm, 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 mm.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. All right, Frizz Dog. I guess what I don't have the list up here.
Oh, well, I'll kick it off then.
Yeah, kick it for me.
I'll kick it off with Minnesota going to the LA Chargers. Um, the Chargers have been not very good lately. Joe Alt, I think, is still doubtful to be playing this game. Um, man, Minnesota. I know Carson Wentz is supposed to start. I hope he finally takes advantage of Justin Jefferson being on the team and just does exactly what Joe Flacco just did with Jamar Chase. Just target Justin Jefferson 24 times, let him catch 18 of them bad boys for 200 yards. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm going to take Minnesota by a score of, let's say 24-17.
It's crazy. They have the Chargers favored by 3 points at home, so that basically is calling this a push 'em game. But Frizz Dog, I hate to admit this, in all honesty, the Chargers seem to be a little bit better at home. They seem to get the squeak out wins there at home. And Minnesota just not looking really good. It seems like they are going down. I know you think that just throwing it up to the Justin Jefferson is going to work. I think so too, but their defense is shit, man. I mean, did you see what the Philadelphia did to him, man? I mean, AJ Brown went for like 100 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, they were just chucking it up. So I look at the Chargers are going to win this game, and They're putting up a lot of points too. So I'm looking at it like, probably 27-20 San Diego. Oh, or LA Chargers. Sorry. Hate to say that. All right. I guess we'll move it on as we're moving on. We'll go with yeah, I mean, sure. Let's do yeah, this is gonna be great. The Cowboys at the Broncos. And with the onslaught of points that were put up last week between both these teams, they had the over under on this for 50 and a half points. Oh, they're expecting no defense in this game. They're expecting no defense here. And in all honesty, this is like, oh man, I pray the Cowboys will win this game. But in reality, I think these fucking Broncos are going to be that little thorn pest in your foot that you just can't get out. And they're going to keep winning here because they got a good slate of bad teams. And the Cowboys are drunk with their hungover win from last week. So I hate to say this, but I'm not a believer, but yep, give me the Broncos. And yeah, I'm looking at 38-35 Denver.
Yeah, I don't believe in Denver at all. I think they do have a decent defense, but I think they can get exposed too. I mean, they just gave up 30 whatever points to the Giants. Um, so I'm taking Dallas.
Ooh.
Because Dallas, their defense might not be great. They do have a legit offense with CD Lamb and George Pickens. So, like I said, I don't think Denver's offense is good at all. So I'm taking Dallas. I'm taking them to win. I'm taking them to win by double digits, uh, 30-14.
All right. Rich Dog likes double digits. All righty. So as
And it's your turn this week to pick the game first, because the Raiders do not play this week. They are on bye.
well, good for them. Good for them. So well, I'm going to give you a classic here. I'm sure people would like to see this game. I'm going to like to see this game. Sunday night game. The Packers at the Steelers.
How'd I know that was the one you were going to give me?
Well, I mean,
Because
I could
that's the
give you
only decent game on the fucking docket.
I mean,
Um,
other than that, it's just two shit teams, you know.
so when I'm looking at Green Bay versus Pittsburgh, I'm looking at Micah Parsons coming off a 3-sack game. Pittsburgh just lost to the Bengals. Um, Jordan Love, hate him or love him, he's a decent quarterback. He can get, he can score some points. Um, I'm going to take Green Bay. I think the wheels might be starting to come off at Pittsburgh. Um, I'll take Green Bay by a score of, let's say, 31 to 20, 24 for Pittsburgh. Uh, your
Oh,
game, your rando game is going to be the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles because it's a division game, and who knows?
yeah, but these teams just played a week ago or 2 weeks ago on Thursday night, and now
Mm.
it's at Philly. So this is really kind of an easy. I appreciate the easy victory here. I'm going to go Philly on this one, revenge game. And you know what? I'd take the points because the Eagles are favored by 7. Oh, look, I wrote that backwards too. Whatever. Oh well, who cares about my dyslexia? Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Eagles, and I'm gonna take the points too. Give me 30-21.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
I'm taking
what
all
what
home teams.
what what other what other games would you have liked me to given you? The Titans and the Colts, the Buccaneers and the Saints.
The only one I would have looked at would have been the Jets and Bengals because the two shitty teams.
The Bengals got a good offense. The Jets are ass.
Jets are ass, but this would be that game where the Jets win.
Could be. I
Mhm.
also thought about the Bears Ravens, but
Bears Ravens would have been good, but the
The
Bears
Ra-
again are starting to come back, right?
yeah, but the Ravens are 1-5 and they suck.
But I think Lamar Jackson is back for this game.
No, he still isn't practicing.
Huh. Well, Vegas has got Ravens at 6.5 point favorites, so they obviously believe something over there.
Well, they're at home. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. The Bills and Panthers. Yeah, this is a bad week. It should be easy pickings if you're out there betting. Just to let you know, it should be easy pickings. Go out there and bet. Right. Let's get on with it, Frizz Dog.
mm,
Kansas City at Washington.
no, no.
No, Washington at Kansas City. Why do I have it? Like, why do I keep thinking that Monday night game's that much? Anyways, all right. Yeah, Washington at Kansas City. Uh, Listen, Vegas is just loving the Chiefs. Other than the Colts at the Titans at the Colts, which is a 14-point spread, they got the Chiefs winning this game by 10.5 points. This is crazy to me. This is absolutely crazy. The the It seems like Vegas also is on board with the EGE. All right. Everybody got to eat. They think this Chiefs team is just straight up dominating. And even though they are a little injured right now on defense, I think they think the Commanders off our defense is just absolutely shit. And so with a 10.5, I'm taking this for his dog. I'm going Chiefs. And let me tell you something. I'm going to take the points on this one too. Yeah. And might as well go ahead, could have been in the 30s, right? Because they're showing a streak of that as well. So we're going to go 35-17. Everybody got to eat for his dog.
Yeah. So I, you know, I think the Chiefs are going to win. Um,
Shocker.
when you say you're taking the points, what do you mean you're going over the points?
Well, yeah, that means you take the Chiefs to win by 11 points.
Oh, you're taking the Chiefs in the spread.
Yeah. And the points, Chiefs and the points, right?
No,
Spread.
the points is total points. When you say points, that's total
Oh,
points.
well, I say over. I go over or under.
Yes, total points. But
Yeah.
if you say you're taking the Chiefs and the points, you're talking about the spread. You're not talking about the over under.
Listen here, Mr. I never bet.
I
Okay.
don't, and I still know this. So
Because every time you always say, I'm taking the Chiefs in the over or the under, that's how you would say it. And if you say, I'm going to take the
no,
Commanders,
Chiefs and the over or under mean you're talking about the total points. If you say you're taking the
yeah,
Chiefs and the points,
that
you're
means,
talking about the spread.
yeah, that's what I said. I'm taking the Chiefs and the points.
Right. So you're taking the point, the spread. You're not, that doesn't have anything to do with over under.
I don't care about the over under. That's why I'm saying, I, I think we're confused. We're both saying the same thing. You just think I'm saying something different. So,
Well,
like,
because
I
you
said
kept
the Chiefs and the points.
you because you were given like the point line.
I don't think I ever gave the point line for this one. The Chiefs are favored by 10.5.
Right. You did say that.
I'm going to take the Chiefs and the points.
Okay.
10.5. The over under, because I don't believe I said this already, is 47.5.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll damn near hit that by herself.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they believe the Commanders are going to score a lot of points. That's why
Oh.
I got them at
Mm.
17.
So yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs. I think they're gonna score even more than you do. I think they're gonna
Oh,
score 38. Because I
okay.
think that they gotta make sure to give Harrison at least one field goal because hey, he was perfect this week. This is the first week of the NFL season that he's been perfect in all his kickoff duties and kicking duties.
Oh yeah, make sure
Um,
you add that caveat in there because it's like he didn't miss a kick last week, but yeah, kick. I got you.
so they want to keep that train going too. We get 5 touchdowns because, like you said, everybody's got to eat, and we get a field goal because everybody's got to eat, and that includes Harrison Bucker. And Washington, yeah, I don't think they're scoring a lot either. 14.
Like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yes. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's episode. It was, fun times when you score 31-0. That's just good times, And, I got to stress again, please hit that like button. As again, I always say, get your pimp hand out, smack that like button, get it, and spread the word to your friends and family. Let us know. We need more subscribers too, but I prefer all the likes we can get. And as always, take care of yourself and each other, and go Chiefs!
Yeah, like Big Lou said, like, subscribe, share. We like all that stuff. We appreciate all that stuff. And like always, only you, although we're getting to the not forest fire time, but only you can prevent forest fires. And go Chiefs!
Screaming out of unity. Walk that